Look at him doing his hair.
Go on.
Hi guys, I'm Gaz from U-Zit Bait Innovations. This is Dale, this is Iain. We're down at Thornyweir complex. We're on the main Thornyweir lake. We've got 48 hours ahead of us. So hopefully we can bag a few fish and give you something to watch. So we got down here first thing this morning, 6 o'clock, when the gates opened. Really busy. There wasn't much in the way of swim choice. Fortunately, there was a swim free which Iain just jumped in, and there was one next door, 2 lads in there. They were moving out at lunchtime, so we managed to just sit off and wait really for the time being. So we've got 2 swims here. So really, it's a toss up between me and Dale.
Luckily,
so,
I bought the sticks.
Yeah, look at that,
Right,
the stick, man. So
shortest stick picks the side.
Who's picking first?
Shortest stick.
Age before beauty. Go on, Gaz.
I'm going that one. Come on.
Smashed it.
Ah, so you're having the one that the fish come out of?
Absolutely. That's right hand side.
Did we say longest stick?
No, shortest.
Definitely not.
No,
Right. Stop arguing.
Sure.
Let's get to it.
Happy days.
Come on.
Right. Right, so we're here for the U-Zit Bait Innovations, a little bit of a get-together social for a 48-hour session on Thornyweir, which is in Ivory, Buckinghamshire. It's about 20 acres. It's a real mature lake. We've got lined with loads of trees. We've got several islands. There's even a sunken barge down the far end. It's a little bit shallower down there. Believe it or not, we've got over 100 30s in here. Several big 40s. There's one called Chubbers, which I believe's gone £46. There's a big ghosty, which is about 37, 38 pounds. So hopefully we get amongst a couple of them. I've got 3 rods out in one spot. I've stuck 10, 12 spods out, just sort of hemp and corn, which is a good sort of starting point on these dating waters. See a lot of hemp, see a lot of corn. And if I get a bite, then I'll just top it up. I've got some of our cloud liquid and some of our almond sort of spod mix, and loads of little bits and pieces in there. There's like little groats in there and crushed seeds, and I'm in about 4 or 5 foot out there. It's nice and warm. We've got about 12 degrees, but we have got a lot of rain coming in tomorrow morning about 6, 7 a.m. So fingers crossed we'll get a bite tonight. While it's still nice for a bit of filming, a few pictures, and we'll let you know how we get on.
So now in my swim, bivvy set up, got sorted out. I've got 1 rod out. I've just put that out on a zig. There was a few fish we just see just under the surface there, so I've just put that one straight out on them. Just sorting my other 2 rods now. One's going to go out on a solid bag. This one's going to go out on a chod. Just out in front of me, there's a reasonable amount of weed, but I managed to find an area of just very slightly lighter stuff. There is still weed there, so I want a rig that's just going to lay down nicely on top of it. So just going for a chod rig. I'm going to go for a bubblegum pop-up on there. So got some here. I'm going to go with the match the hatch ones. I've already boosted these up. So in each of the pots you get your little flavour dip that you can use on there, and you get a powder as well. My recommendation, the way that I do them, is I'll put half of the liquid onto the pop-ups and I'll give them a good shake around. I'll leave that for 24 hours. I'll then give them another little drop after 24 hours or so, and a small amount of powder, shake them all up, and then with the remaining last bit I'll do exactly the same process 24 hours or so after that, and that way you get a really nice coating on them, so they're not clumpy or anything like that, and it covers the whole bait. I'm going to use a bit of spod mix, but I'm not going to put that out until just on dark. There's a lot of bird life out there at the moment, so just on darkness I'll get it out. But I'm going to prep it up now and show you how I do it. So firstly, the SS spod mix, which is, as Dale has already said to you earlier, it's a blend of seeds, sweeteners, and they're all blended down to different particle levels. So there, some real small bits and chunkier bits in there. Lots of bits that can get suspended up into the columns, the water columns. So some of it hits the deck, some of it's up further up. So the way that I prep that, literally, I just put it into a bucket. So pour some into a bucket, and then I'll pour boiling water over the top of it. You can do it with cold water, but you do have to leave it for just a little bit longer. But pour boiling water, it speeds all the process up because it is all dried. And you literally just pour it over there, leave it for a little while. So at the moment it's hot, but as I said, I'm going to mix it up now, and then I'm going to use it a bit later on so it can all cool down properly. So in there you can see all the little bits and bobs, it's all blended up nice. So the next thing I'm going to add is some of the bubblegum cloud powder. So it's really, really fine powder, really, really sweet, really, really, really sweet. Mix that just into there, mix it all up. Now I've got 3 rods on one spot, one's on solid bag, one's on a pop-up, the other's on a zig. So they're all quite tight to each other around the same area. So I want a spod mix that is going to cover all bases, some to the bottom, some to the zig. So if the fish are up in the levels or if they're coming up and down, I'm going to try, hopefully try and cover all bases. So I'm going to mix it up there, cloud liquid powder in there. So I want to try and keep it reasonably sloppy. I don't want a real tight mix on there. Gonna have a little bit of pellet. Now I'm not going to overdo it with the pellet. I just want small particles in there, so nothing too much, but just enough to keep them in the swim. So a small amount of pellet in there. Now, as I said earlier, there is a lot of bird life on here. So with the powder cloud, it is quite bright. So in the same, exactly the same, but we do it in a dark version. Just in there, so it's exactly the same blend, but a very dark colour. So I'm just going to darken things down a little bit with that. On the top of these pots, you've got a pourer one side, or if you don't want to pour it out so much, you've got a shaker on there. So I'm going to add some of that into there, just like so. Again, mix it right round. You can see the colour of that, so it will start to darken the mix down a little bit, hopefully, just to deter in those birds. And they're really nice. Get it all mixed in. That's it. And as you can see, it's quite sloppy there. I'll probably add a little bit of water to it in a minute. All mixed in. The last bit is the cloud liquid. Now the cloud liquid is quite a thick liquid, so you have to give it a really good shake up. You'll see in the bottom of the bottle it's slightly different colour, so mix it right the way in. It's got all the sweeteners and everything else in there, so a really good helping of that. I like to put lots of it in, and it really does cloud up the water. Do me. Again, mix it all in. And you can see it's all really gone really sloppy. It's darkened down in there a little bit. I'm going to add just a little bit of lake water into that. Not too much. Probably do me. That's it. A really sloppy mix. And as I say, when it goes into the water column, it will disperse. So some will hit the deck, some will be suspended in the middle levels. And you're covering all areas then, so you're just going to either draw them down, or they're going to start picking bits up. That's how I prep it. I'm going to leave that now. I'm going to put it out just on darkness.
Right, so rods are out. I've got 3 rods on the spot again. I think it's sort of beneficial on a sort of a highly stocked venue like this. So you've got over 130s in here, so fish are probably going to be in big packs, groups. We've seen a few already today in the sunshine up in the upper layers. So our mix is the same but different as Gary's. It's just got a personal preference basically. So what I've started with is I've got a load of sort of micro pellet, the krill ones. I've soaked them in a little bit of lake water. You can just see there. They've been soaking for about half an hour. So I'm going to add a few of the bigger krill pellets. Just a couple of handfuls. Like I said, I don't want too much food, but I want loads of attraction, loads of smell. What I've got in this bucket is some of the 10 and 12 mil krill, some hemp and some corn. So I'm just going to knock it up as I need it. These have been soaking for a while now, 24 hours in fact, so they're lovely and soft. Again, I've soaked the boilies in the juice that I boiled the hemp in, along with the corn. I say hemp, corn, it's always a good start on these sort of prolific day tickets. So I'm going to put one of those in. I'm going to give that a good stir up. You can see that. I've got 3 rods on the bottom, so I'm in about 4 or 5 feet. Like I say, we have seen them cruising about, so hopefully we're on the money. So give it a good mix. Now to that, I'm going to add some of the krill powder, which is real fine. It's the cloud. So just to reiterate what Gary said, this is just to get them in the upper layers or pull them down. If, like I say, they've been cruising about on top. So a little bit of this in. This will just stodge it up. Make sure we give everything a real thorough mix. And you can't overdo it with these products, the liquids or the powders. It's just about getting the sort of the consistency that you desire, really. And then to that, we do an krill liquid, which is actually salmon and lobster flavour. So give that a good shake, because it does settle. And again, you can't, like I say, you can't overpower it. So that's just your preference, you know. I'm going to give it a nice squeeze of that. That will do me. And we do an krill oil. So again, give that a good shake. I'm going to put a little bit of this in, so it's just going to sort of slick up. Give it a nice thorough mix. So as you can see, I've got a nice dark sort of brown, ready brown mix. Just you can see there, look, a couple of grains of corn in there, nothing sort of too obtrusive. So it's gin clear water over at Thornyweir. So that's kind of my approach. A little bit of a drab mix, but it's full of attraction. And like Gary said earlier, we've got 20 or 30 birds in front of us. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to stick this out just in the last sort of half an hour of daylight. And hopefully that'll keep the birds off us and it will do us a bite.
Good evening, guys. Just a quick update. We're 36 hours into the session. We've haven't seen any fish, haven't heard any fish. The wind has been hacking in all day long. It's been absolutely chucking it down with rain, so we've had a bit of a nightmare. The clearer weather's coming in the next sort of 24 hours, so hopefully we'll be able to get a couple of fish on the bank for you. Fingers crossed. Good morning, guys. Here we are at Thornyweir. It's been a hectic morning this morning. I've had this one and Gaz has had two. after all the hard work we put in yesterday, in the wind and the rain, it's nice to see that it's paid off. So this one's a mid-20 comment, caught on peanut boilie with a peanut pop-up over the top. Well chuffed.
There we go. That's what it's all about. That's how we roll at U-Zit. 2 belt and 20-pound commons. First light this morning. Wicked, eh?
Let's get them back, shall we?
We get them straight back in. Well, this is the second one and the bigger of the two from this morning's brace. Let's say 5 minutes or so apart. Both rods rattled off, one in the net, the other rod goes. Just over 31 pounds, 31.10. So absolute clonker. Beautiful fish from Thornyweir. Rod's still out. Hopefully we can have a few more fish. There's still time, still got a few hours. Absolute belter. That's what we came here for. Pretty much nearing the end of our session now. Dale's packed up. Me and Ian are just going to start having a slow pack up. We've probably got another hour or so if we want it. I think we can all say really, can't we, that it's a fairly productive session and it's a bit of a success really. We've managed to catch us some good stuff on camera for you, and we've managed to show you how we utilise some of the baits within our fishing. And the way you can use some of the products, so hopefully you try and start put that into your own fishing and then put more fish on the bank. So I think I'm quite happy with the way things have gone really.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. It was a bit of a challenge with the weather.
And
obviously how busy the lake is. Obviously that always has a bit of a part to play in it. But other than that,
I think it was pretty good. Would you changed anything in your session or?
No, it come good in the end, didn't it? It's just that old allergy of hard work pays off in the end. I say it was a headache, wasn't it, getting the bait out yesterday? I think we had gusts of 39 mile an hour. We was right in the teeth of the wind.
Yeah.
So it probably took 2 or 3 hours, didn't it, to get the rods on the spot and the bait, just to get the bait out. Like I say, we done 50 or 60 spots, didn't we?
Yeah.
And that was a mix of 12 millers, some hemp, some of the cloud powders and the liquids, some sea salt, a bit of corn, and just give that a good stir up, douse that with oil, and I say the hard work's paid off, boys, isn't it?
Yeah, it has. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, very happy.
No, it's a good result. And you're off now onto another venue, aren't you?
I'm off to another venue. I'm off to Stanwick Lakes for a social. So fingers crossed, I'll do better there than I did here.
And then after that, you're moving on somewhere else.
And after that, I've got another 48-hour social with a couple of my good friends back in Essex.
Yeah.
So I'll keep you posted, boys.
Full timer, isn't it?
Thank you very much.
Living a dream, mate.
Living a dream.
Living a dream.
Cool.
Cheers, guys.
Cheers,
Thanks
mate.
for watching.
See you soon.
Well, before we'd already done the final fish, just as we're packing up, same rod again, just rattled off. Exactly the same tactics as I had the last two on, so that was a hinge stiff rig with a fluoro pink bubblegum pop-up on there. And another nice little common. Great way to end the session.